In this video, guys, I'm going to show you how to install a new floor on top of an existing floor. It doesn't matter what kind of flooring you have or where you're switching over to, whether it's LVT or you're using laminate or you're using engineered hardwood or SPC, doesn't make a difference. As long as you have any kind of hard surface, the only rule is if you have carpet, you've got to remove it. Other than that, these steps, anybody can transform any room from something nasty like this to something gorgeous like this. Now, just so that you're all aware of what's going on here, I'm doing a complete bathroom remodel. I'm doing 7 videos on this, so this is one of the series of that 7. If you want to watch the rest of those videos, check out the video description. You get the links to watch this whole series. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like learning how to do things that make your house worth more money that you can do yourself. Just to make this interesting, I've chosen the most difficult situation in the home, and you'll be able to watch this and go, wow, that wasn't that tricky. I'm using engineered hardwood. It's a floating floor, okay? No fasteners, no adhesives. It just sits by the miracle of gravity. Now you've got to use the right products and procedures, so we're going to go through that. The reason this is tricky is because this floor is heated. That's right. This is a heated floor, and I've got a system to install floating floor over top of the heated floor that actually works for any kind of surface. Step number 1, you're going to want to cut and remove all your baseboards. That's simple. Grab yourself an Olfin knife. If you don't have an Olfin knife, go to the store and buy one, or just use our Amazon links in the video description and grab one of these, okay? These are amazing. And what you're doing here is you're cutting the caulking. But even more than that, you're cutting the paper, okay? So that if you tear it, when you're taking off the baseboard, it doesn't go above the knife line, okay? So you're just cutting right through into the paper. One thing you want to make sure you do when you're taking baseboards off is don't increase your scope of work. This is a 5-inch baseboard. We're going to go back with a 5.5. The idea is if I cut through the paper instead of caulking, I eliminate the risk of the caulking pulling the drywall paper off the surface. I don't have to patch and prime and repair. All right, I just stick the new baseboard on and I'm good to go. I'm going to grab my trusty red bar. All right, see how that works? You're never going to increase your damage. The caulking grabbed the paper here, but only went down because I cut through the drywall. Had I not cut through that drywall paper, it would have peeled all the way up the walls and pulled it off. That just would have added hours of work to the day. Step 1, done. All right, step 2 is sweep and scrape. Because you don't know the condition of your house. You might have chunks of mud or cement. There could be just about anything attached to your flooring. So you want to try to create as completely smooth and clean surface as you can, and you just kind of go along here like you're raking your yard after the leaves in the fall down, inspecting every square inch. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't clean enough before they start, and then while they're working they've got to stop and find the tools again and then bend down and scrape again, and then they got to get the vacuum to clean it up properly. It can really slow you down. So really go over the whole work area. I'm going to be installing flooring up to here, and then I'm going to transition. I'm going to move the saw to the other side of the room. Here we go. Step 3 is vacuum, okay? It's not good enough to sweep. Dirt is your enemy whenever you're doing a flooring job. You really want to get into all those nooks and crannies where you remove the baseboard and make sure all that debris is gone. You'd be surprised how much dirt is going to be moving around the room as you're dropping the boards and moving around. And so you want to just try to suck it all clean as much as you can before you start laying your flooring. Or you're going to get dirt caught underneath your floor and it's going to make noise every time you walk on it. Here's a quick tip. When you have a big groove like this, okay, and you've got your vacuum up against it, if it's not sucking up the debris, just take a finger on each side and close off the ability for the air to increase the vacuum pressure, and that'll suck up just about anything, okay? Step 3 is underlayment, all right? Especially with the heated floor, you gotta be careful which underlayment you choose. There's plenty of them on the market. Now, this one is the one that I chose, and believe it or not, I know I'm always giving Home Depot a hard time for some of the quality of the products they carry, but this particular product was actually available at Home Depot in the United States. And if you want to know what it is and the benefits of it, it's actually quite simple. I'm going to throw a link in the video description. we're going to do a video specifically on this product and answer on all these questions, okay? But this product here has got a lot of different properties. You're going to want to check that video out to understand, is it the right product for you? Because I've given other recommendations in the past about using 3mm EVM, but you can't use that over top of a heated floor. So there's a lot of information in that video. I'm going to suggest you check it out. But with all kinds of hard surface over another floor, I suggest using an underlayment because it makes it quieter as a first benefit. And if you buy the right product, you get a lot more value out of the installation than you do by spending a lot more money on high quality flooring. So installing most floating floors are as simple as having a tape measure and a pencil, okay? You really just want to make sure you follow the next couple rules. Rule number 1, leave a 1/4 inch gap around the whole room for expansion contraction, all right? Rule number 2, make sure that all your finishing trims are going to finish on top of your flooring. So over here, coming out of the bedroom, I actually scribed it earlier so I can slide my first piece underneath, and that is a perfect finish. Now remember, when you're cutting around things, just marking by eye works really well, but then use a square to draw your lines to cut with. Okay? Okay, now you know. That's the piece I'm cutting out. If you're working with somebody who's helping you, and you guys both follow the same process, it's easy to mark and then identify what the cutoff is. So step number 5, of course, installing the flooring means you need to have some cutting tools. Depending on the material, you're gonna have a variation. So you could have a chop saw like this, a sliding miter saw, you can have a jigsaw. A lot of the vinyl floors out there, you can cut with a utility knife, but only straight lines. When in doubt, if you're not sure and you don't want to spend a fortune in tools, if you buy one jigsaw, you can cut any kind of hard surface floor. Laminate, engineered hardwood, or vinyl, and you can do every single cut with one tool. And this is like about 50 or 60 bucks. Of course, you're going to sacrifice a little bit of quality with your cuts, okay? And most materials respond the same. The solution is we install the baseboard at the end and it'll cover all that damage. But if you can get your hands on a saw like this, it's much faster work. Just use a knife to clean out the corners. Ready to go. There we go. Almost all of these products install the same. Put in an angle, and then they click lock together. There we go. When you hear that sound, you know you've got it right. Here we are. The product invariably, especially with wood, comes in different sizes. All right, so you're gonna wanna sort through it. Make sure that you're being creative with your joints. If you had the same joint every second board all the way through the room, it's gonna look very interesting. One of the reasons you use wood is because wood comes in different lengths. So you can take your offcuts, keep them handy, and always use them to finish off the rows. Here we are. It's a good example of just mixing up where the locations are. If you have 6 inches from one joint to the next, you're always going to be fine and happy with the way it looks. When you're measuring for the remainder, just take the board the direction it's facing, turn it around. Now that's your finished edge that goes right here. Press it up against the wall and then subtract the 1/4 inch gap that you want. Here we go. Mark and cut it. Save the piece to start another row later on, or take a few inches off so you can move your joint to a different location. I'm going to save this one for later. You can see there's not a lot of skill involved in doing this. The only thing you really got to be concerned about is making sure your joints are staggered, okay? As long as you're staggering your joints, you're gonna be really happy with your end result. All right, so I'm gonna just race through the rest of this room and get this all done. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the idea of learning how to do remodeling projects in your home that you can do yourself with just minimal tools and really increase the value of your property. That is the secret, and it's money in the bank. And if you like learning great secrets about DIY renovations, click the link up here. We've got another video to show you, because you might not want to go with the hardwood. Maybe you want to go with the vinyl. We got a great video showing you all the tips and tricks for that too. Cheers.